Hi, I'm Mike. This is Mike Miller Talks Life. Today's quote: care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. It is interesting that we live in a land of great freedom, yet there are so many prisoners among us. This is not talking about real jail with bars on the doors, but a personal prison, emotional bondage, all because we have chosen to care too much. We care too much about what others think. We care about their thoughts when it comes to what we wear, how we look, what we say, what decisions we make. We are living for her, for him, for their approval. Meryl Streep said, "The minute you start caring about what other people think, you stop being yourself." I really think that's true. Extreme caring about what other people think is a prison. It is giving away the keys to your life. And when we do this, some things that can happen is we lose ourselves. We miss out on being what we were meant to be. We don't think we have done well until they say we've done well. We don't really choose to do what we want. We don't really choose to say how we really feel about something. We struggle with guilt and we have a hard time making decisions. We stop pursuing dreams and desires and goals because we need to be what they say. It's sad because we all have talents. We're all wired to like things and do things and to be creative and to have a purpose in life, to do what fulfills us. And this is normal and healthy, but we've begun caring too much about what other people think, and it prevents us from doing all the things we were designed to do and be. And we're stuck with a life of regrets. People pleasing, which is what the Bible calls caring too much about what other people think, takes us down a path of misery and bondage and even compromise. I think it's important to understand that we do need to be responsible in life. And that means this is not, I could care less what anybody thinks attitude. I don't think that's right. We need to accept and commit to our responsibilities, whether it's a spouse, a parent, a job, a group you belong to. We don't want to be rude to people or insensitive to people. We don't want to offend people needlessly. And we do want to get advice and counsel from other people. We want to be open to constructive criticism and feedback, and we want to be learners, and we want to do the best we can. But the problem comes when we fall into caring too much about what other people think. We get locked into a prison, and their approval is what we live for. It becomes our purpose. And it's totally negative and limiting. Some of the reasons that we care too much about what other people think is, we feel like we don't want to disappoint somebody. We want to fit into a certain group. We are wounded in some way in our early years when we were trying to do something maybe a little different and we got a negative response from key people. We want to be accepted and validated and loved, and we just don't know how to do that. And so we start trying to please people and get that, and it just gets out of hand. Don't forget, it's normal to care about what other people think. Everybody does. However, when we care to the point that our own happiness and well-being is suffering and we're not being what we were made to be, it reaches an unhealthy point. It's very hard to stop caring what other people think. It doesn't just happen overnight. There's a few things that will help you, I think. I think it helps to get to know you. Many times when we're stuck in this rut of caring too much about what other people think, we really don't even know ourselves very well. What are your talents? What are your interests? What are your skills? What gives you joy? And what is really fun for you to do? I think it helps to get comfortable with who you are. To get to that place where you can say, I like me. I'm good with me. I'm not perfect. I'm not flawless. I blow it, but I'm good with me. And I think it helps to start focusing on what matters to you. What would you like? What do you want to do? What are you getting excited about trying? This is not being selfish in a negative way. This is being healthy. Stop comparing. Everybody's on a different journey. And when you're always looking at them and trying to figure out what to do or how to be like them, you're just losing yourself. So stop comparing. I think it helps to be willing to be embarrassed. I mean, this seems stupid. Nobody wants to be embarrassed, but I've been embarrassed a lot in my life, and I'm fine. It's not that pleasant at the time, but as I grew, I began to be able to laugh at myself for making stupid mistakes, blunders. And I mean, it's amazing that when you learn to chuckle at yourself and not take yourself all that seriously, things kind of relax. It might be good to explore why this person or this group, these people's opinion matters so much to you. How did they get that much authority? Why do they get the final say? Why do they get to give the final thumbs up or thumbs down on what you're doing or about to do? I think it's good to explore that a little bit, because really nobody should have that spot in your life. That's for you. And then I think be a little rebellious here and do some things without their approval. Go ahead and do whatever it is you want to do, and do it your way. And when they don't respond with favor, choose to say, I'm fine with that. I feel good about what I did. I mean, after all, it is your life. And you're just sort of taking the reins. And when you make that statement, I choose to say, I'm fine with that. What is happening? Because you may not feel fine with it, but you're acting or talking your way into a feeling. The more you say, I'm fine with what I did, I don't need your approval, you're making a true statement, and your feelings don't agree. But as you keep making that true statements, your feelings will follow and they'll get in line. We're in a habit of letting our feelings rule our life and lead our life, and that is not a good idea, because your feelings change all the time, and just because you feel something doesn't mean it's right. And so I think it's better to make a choice that's right and let your feelings have a chance to catch up. And when you're doing that, what's happening is you're going to make the right choice. I'm fine if you don't give me approval. I'm happy with what I did. You're going to convince yourself that you are happy with what you did. You're going to convince yourself that you really don't need their approval in your life. And you're going to start feeling good about making the choices that you want to make. I have also learned, when I'm trying to break the grip that somebody has that makes me feel like I have to have their approval, the right people will show up and give the appropriate praise and comments about what you're doing. And you just learn to accept them, because at first you'll reject them because it's not that person. But you just say thank you. It's kind of tricky right there, but that's kind of important points. I hope you get it. I think it's good to make a decision about who really matters. I think we're wired, and it's real normal to want praise, to seek approval. I mean, just watch little kids. When they're doing something they think it's kind of cool, they look back and say, hey, watch me, Daddy. Hey, look at me. Look what I did. Look at me, Mommy. That's because it's part of their wiring to get the approval in their life, to notice them. And that's real normal to do that. So we need a group who will do that. Your parents, yeah, but you also need some other people. And I recommend you choose carefully. You want people who really care about you. They want you to succeed, and they're willing to give recognition when you do a good job, but they're also willing to give some feedback if you need it. One last thought. The audience of one. When I started, when I became a follower of Jesus Christ, and I've made no bones about that. From day one, I've said I'm a Christian. I'm not expecting you to become one, but this is, I think, an important point for the Christians. When I became a follower of Jesus Christ, I realized that there was a truth that's formed from Scripture, that I was made by God and for God. And this opened my understanding to this whole audience of one idea. That the primary audience in my life was God. And I needed to live and act in a way that pleased Him. I need to do the things I did to please Him. Strive to please Him, and it brought great fulfillment. And I never felt condemned by God, because the Bible says that God doesn't condemn us. So I began working on being an upward looker. That sounds stupid, I know, but the Greek's word for mankind, was a word that meant upward looker. And they believed that we were designed to look up to our God. And Greeks had many gods. Christians have one. So I just started trying to work on being an upward looker. And I mean, I didn't make a big deal about it, but I just would try to, when I would do something, God, I hope you were pleased with that. Or God, I want to do this for you. Help me to be honest and just do what I'm about to do to please you. It was just something within me. I didn't really announce it. And when I would feel disappointed that, hey, that guy didn't say anything about what I just did, and I knew right off, I'm off track. I'm supposed to be doing this for God. I want people to notice. I want them to say good job, but I mostly want God to say that. Well, I mean, that's kind of a super Christian thing, I know, but it really started making a difference in my life, and I began to feel more fulfilled about the things I was doing. I do have key people in my life that I want to know what they think, but I always have God to tell me what He thinks. I hope if you have fallen into this prison of caring too much about what other people think, that you're able to break out of it. It's devastating. It's a self-induced prison. They have no authority over you, but you've given them that. And I hope you can break free. And when you break free, you will begin to experience freedom to live, a freedom to grow personally, to develop your skills, your talents, your creativity, and to actually enjoy life. Hey, thanks so much for listening. I hope this was a good talk for you. Hope it sparked some ideas and thoughts for you. And if you liked it, I hope you'll click like or maybe subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I don't need your approval, but it'd be nice to have some followers. And so until next week, I hope you have a great, fun, and healthy week.